Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Special thanks to the organizers for not putting me directly after Jacek's presentation. Okay, I'm the head of project design at Alarm Automatica in Croatia, and I'll be talking to you about trends in security and safety project solutions. You've all heard of Alarm Automatica. I think I don't need to say too much about it. We'll start with CCTV, and sorry. We'll start with CCTV and especially with cybersecurity. Why cybersecurity and CCTV? Well, CCTV is all modern CCTV basically is TCP IP connected. So if your CCTV system is in any way connected to any network, it's potentially vulnerable to cyber attacks. So in this infographic, you can see that these are the data from 2022, and you can see that there have been 6.3 trillion intrusion attempts, a huge increase in IoT malware, cryptojacking, and so forth. So the biggest risk for us here is the intrusion attempts, and the statistics show that the average data breach in 2022 was worth about $4.35 million, or in the healthcare industry, it was worth about $10 million. So if you get breached, it's going to cost you. And this is a nice quote at the end of this slide. Cybersecurity is much more than a matter of IT. What does this mean? It means that cybersecurity by itself is not enough to make your system secure. So here are some best practices to avoid cyber attacks, like using different unique passwords for all devices, using firewalls, not being connected to the internet, or just forwarding the ports that are required, encrypting the video material, encrypting the connections, and so forth. Some manufacturers actually force the installer to change the password on every camera by using one-time unique passwords which are embedded in the camera during the commissioning phase. And of course, that other manufacturers build in cybersecurity in their cameras, such as Vivotech's Trend Micro app, which basically detects any kind of brute force attempt or any other network attacks, and sends out the information to the entire CCTV system, isolating the IP address from which the attack is coming. Moving on to other trends, we have the cloud managed solutions. Now, we all know that a standard CCTV system is comprised of NVR switches or network equipment and the end devices or cameras. Now, this is a trend in bigger sites, in larger applications, and especially in IT-based companies who have already established very good IT infrastructure, which can be used to transfer the data from the cameras to the servers, which are running virtual NVRs or software used to manage CCTV. So is this a risk? Well, if you have a big site which has redundancies, which has enough network capacity, which has power redundancies, it's not a risk, because generally these kind of companies actually run their business on their network. So if you lose the network for your CCTV, it's not that important, because they've also lost their network and lost their business. What are some advantages of this? It's centrally monitored system components. They can be monitored remotely. We can have multiple sites monitored from the same place. And a few words about software as a service. It provides models that are subscription based. So if the user just wants a basic CCTV CCTV system with just recording and no special features, they can get it at a lower price point than, let's say, a system which needs special analytics, AI, and so forth, which can be sold at a bigger price point. Edge analytics is another trend in CCTV, basically meaning that any kind of analysis is done inside the camera. It's processed by the camera and then sent out to the central software, to the NVR, which reduces network traffic and reduces strain on the actual NVR or software processing. So using AI, for example, in the picture with the crosswalk, we can see the result of AI's analysis of the video showing persons or adding metadata. For example, male person with red shirt or with white cap and so on. And another nice feature is the best shot and path analysis, which allows the user of the CCTV to get the best, as the name itself says, to get the best shot, the best face from the entire time the person was inside the recorded frame. And also the path analysis can also show where the person exactly moved through the space. CCTV is also used in non-security applications, mostly for business improvement. So this is not a new trend. Heat maps and marketing or business analysis, but it has been on the rise nevertheless in projects in Croatia. So some retail chains like to have, as you see in the image, they like to have fisheye cameras above, which show heat maps where you can see, for example, the red zones are places where buyers were pausing or standing more often, more looking at some products, while the green or yellow zones are zones where persons were walking more faster or not looking as much at the merchandise. Another trend that has been growing in the last few years is parking using LPR cameras, and users or parking space owners have moved away from traditional paper parking tickets and are moving towards even avoiding paper at all. So the system basically scans the license plate of the car, has a time of entry, and when the car owner gets back to the parking to do the payment, he can just input his license plate in the system, pay it with a card or cash, and move on, exit freely when the ramp is activated or opened by the system. Control of the technological process is another trend recently, basically using cameras to monitor the efficiency of a production process, or let's say, or using cameras to monitor temperature in some moving parts of the process. And yeah, traffic cameras, they aren't used just for ticketing, for punishing people. They can be used for monitoring traffic efficiency, traffic flow, checking out if there are gridlocks, if traffic lights needs to be changed manually, and so forth. Facial recognition, another big trend. And I'd like to say that it's not being used just for CCTV, but it can be used also as a sort of an alarm. Recently, we've had a project in an office building with 3 or 4 floors, which has access control on all floors. So if you come up through the stairwell, you can't get in if you don't have a card, but you can get in through the elevator. Now, the elevator also has a card reader, but theoretically, if there are 10, 12 persons inside the elevator, and if there are 100 people working on a certain floor, it means that someone can enter the elevator and get out at the floor without being checked for any access card or any other credentials. So what this system does, it has a database of all the faces of all the employees of this company, so about 400 or 500 people. And also when a guest arrives to the office building, his face is also recorded, scanned, and sent out to the system. Now, if in some case, or if it happens so that an intruder comes up through the elevator, there are cameras at every elevator bank, and they will instantly see, record, and alert the security staff that an unknown person or an unknown face has appeared, let's say, on the second floor of the building. So this is a very nice tool and very efficient tool to keep your premises secure. Okay, moving on to access control. Mobile credentials are also on the rise, meaning that you use your mobile phone instead of an RFID card. Why is this good? Well, no one leaves their home without their cell phone. You won't lose your cell phone, or if you misplace it, you will look for it right away. If you lose your key card, maybe you won't remember, maybe you won't need it that day anymore, and you won't remember you don't have it on you. So it can get stolen, and it can get used to enter the premises. The mobile phone also instantly provides two-factor authentication, meaning that you can't use it as a credential. You can't check in at the card reader without unlocking your phone with your thumbprint or access code. So this makes it much more secure than using ordinary RFID cards. Also, another trend in making everything more secure while using RFID cards is encrypted communication. So not just between, let's say, the server and the card reader, but also between the actual card and the reader. Normally, in, let's say, legacy systems or normal systems, when you place the card at the reader, it instantly gives away its code. And it basically allows itself to be copied or abused. In this case, with encrypted communication or encrypted card, the card will not communicate with the reader until it gets a valid, let's say, hello from the reader, until it gets a valid code from the reader identifying itself as being legitimate. Another thing in access control, intercom. So this is more used maybe in residential buildings, but also in business places. BAS IP has a range of intercoms which not only use normal call buttons, cards, or pins. They also use QR codes and have the possibility of scanning the face. The QR codes or any other kind of credential can be one time, so you can send it to a delivery guy or a friend or someone who will just enter the building once. You can set the duration. If you have family visiting, you can print them out the QR code and give it to them and make it valid for 2 days until they're gone. And regarding the face recognition, it has the anti-spoofing feature, so you can just show someone's picture because the system will know it's a picture, it's not a person. I won't let you in. Moving on to intrusion systems, we all heard of AJAX, of wireless intrusion. So this has been on the rise for years now, and I'd just like to mention the reasons why. So we all know that there's a lack of technicians and that the price of installation is high. So this not just AJAX, any kind of wireless system can be quickly installed without cables. It can be quickly configured, and it's safe and easy to use. These are some data from research that shows what home users want from their systems. So of course they want to be notified about a possible intrusion, but they also want to see CCTV cameras. They want to monitor events around the house. And the more and more intrusion systems are becoming integrated with the smart home functions. So you can, as this infographic shows, you can not only control your intrusion, you can control doors, you can install smoke sensors, connect to the cameras, connect lighting, gates, heating, and basically any other thing that can be controlled via KNX or Modbus or any other compatible protocol.
3 minutes.
Okay, moving on to safety. Fire alarms, they're now online. INIM, the one manufacturer of fire detection systems, has a cloud application which can notify the users of any possible fires or faults in their system. Of course, this is not a replacement for the fire brigade notification, which needs to be EN54 compatible, but it's a nice thing to have because in larger applications, there are persons, more than one person in charge of safety on the premises. So it's good for them to have a notification regardless of the fire brigade. Integration of fire detection and public, and voice evacuation systems. INIM has also recently produced this panel which integrates fire detection and voice evacuation. So in one panel, you have the functions of voice evacuation, fire detection, and of course, management of public address, such as background music, other notifications, and so forth. And finally, Internet of Things, we've all heard it, it's rising. In 2022, it was worth some $80 billion in the whole world, and it's projected to quadruple to some $350 billion by 2029. So one protocol that we've been looking at as a company is LoRaWAN, meaning long range wide area network, which allows wireless communication of various types of sensors over a very, very large distance. So up to more than 20 kilometers of open space or 2 to 5 kilometers within cities. And we had a pilot project in the city of Rijeka with some sensors inside the city. As I said, the worth of the smart building and smart city technologies in the world, and they can be used within a building to control lighting, heating, and AC. They can be used to monitor air quality. For example, in classrooms, if you have your windows closed for too long, the children will lose their concentration, they will become irritable, it will be hot, and so on. And these kinds of sensors can be connected with the ventilation system, or they can at least, in a basic version, give you an alarm that that there's too much CO2 in the air. During the pandemic, it was used, and it can still be used for indoor occupancy monitoring and integration with lighting or heating. So when an office building, let's say in the evening, when a floor is empty, the system can automatically turn off the lights, reduce temperature, and so on. And another thing is smart parking, so navigation of car users on every level towards available parking spots. And it can be used for outdoor asset tracking. So, for example, you can have a sensor on your truck, you can have a sensor on your forklift, which is connected via this very long range, and you can monitor its geolocation and see if it's moving when it shouldn't be moving, if someone stole it, or so on. And of course, you can also track your livestock. And finally, one nice quote, I don't know who said it, but the S in IoT stands for security. So there's no S in IoT. And IoT basically can't be used for some very secure purposes, but for these general applications, it's a very nice thing to have. And this is it for me. Thank you for listening.